You're listening to the Geekcast Radio Network of podcasts.
Supernatural. From
Brave Star.
Maybe it was a Manglore.
It's Castle Grayskull.
Tune in next week for a much better episode. For now, though, courage.
Hello, and welcome to the 55th episode of ToyCast, sponsored by BigBadToyStore.com, where you can save from 20 to 90% on over 1,000 items. I am your host, TFG1Mike, and joining me is GeneralTekno. Hello.
Hello there.
How are you, sir?
I'm alright. I got my iron ring today, so woohoo.
Cool.
And for Canadian engineers, this has some significance.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it has a great deal of significance.
Very cool. What have you been up to besides doing that?
A lot of work. A lot of schoolwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you going to school for anyway? Engineering, I would assume?
Yeah, computer engineering.
Oh, okay.
Almost done. Right at the end of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Not much is going on with me. It's just one of those, kind of a nice Saturday, but just kind of like, needs to hurry up and get itself over with already.
No?
I don't know, it's just one of those things where I think I'm anticipating payday later, which is not till Thursday, of course. We are, by the time people will hear this, it'll probably be, God.
Well after said day.
Yeah, it'll probably be close to April or May's payday when people hear this, but same principle. But yeah, so. Do we have anything we want to bring up before we get to the toy stuff?
Well, the Transformers Collectors Club is selling their, as of this recording there, you've got Cyclonus and Punch Counterpunch still up for sale. I won't be surprised if by the time this is done, they've sold out already, but because they're already pretty much 50% sold. Yeah.
I don't care. I love I would love to have the Henkei Lavender Cyclonus to go along with my US version. I don't care about the club exclusive Cyclonus because all it is a hot rod jet.
I thought you were a fan of Shattered Glass. You were going on about how it's your favorite set ever and stuff.
Well, the Shattered Glass BotCon set, yes. But mainly I like the evil Autobots out of that. And mainly the evil Autobots are colored purple, black, and red and green.
I see. Between
Optimus and Rodimus. I don't think I have any of my heroic Decepticons left. I sold Scream to Decepticon Crescendo. I sold Megatron to some guy, I don't even know. I don't even have Autobot Grimlock anymore. I sold him. I sold all the ones that I could not transform, like the Jazz, and I sold all the cars except for,
You couldn't transform that Starscream? That's like one of the easiest...
No, the cars, dude, the cars, not the jet. The car. Jazz, Ricochet, Drench, or Drench, or Sides, whatever the hell it's supposed to be. All the cars that had parts that you had to pretty much pull apart to get them out to get it to transfer. I just sold them all. It was just one of those things where, Starscream was taking up too much shelf space, and I asked Decepticon Crescendo if she wanted him, and she said yeah, and I sold it to her, and same thing with Megatron. He was just, at the time, I wasn't using the shelf the way I'm using it now, and it was just taking up way too much space on the top part of my shelf, so I said screw it, and I sold it. Plus, I probably needed the money at the time anyway. I think the only ones I've kept, obviously, Optimus, Rodimus, and Goldbug are the only three I have left. And really, honestly, they're the only three that I really want. The rest...
I wouldn't mind that Megatron, and I know I would really love them to do Shattered Glass Galvatron.
Yeah,
I like the design for him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I like the mold choice. It's a very unexpected one, and it works well.
Where my love for the Shattered Glass set comes in is, as I said, those three figures in the comic. That's really where my love for the set and the idea comes from. It's more so coming from the story in the comic than it is the rest of the toys outside of the 3 that I mentioned. And I'm sure that there would be plenty of other characters that I would love to see as evil Autobots. That's pretty much where my love comes in for that. But yeah, Cyclonus, getting back to the Shatterglass Cyclonus, he's, like I said, to me, my own personal opinion, he's Cyclonus as a hot rod jet. He's basically, you take the car mode out of hot rod, make him a jet, and you have Shatterglass Cyclonus, because it's all orange and red and white and whatever. I don't like it.
Fair enough.
And as far as punch counterpunch, I want him. I'll probably never get him, unfortunately. Which, kind of sucks. And then, of course, again, this probably won't air until a month from when we record it, but they announced Transformers Hall of Fame, which is pretty cool.
Right.
Is this just... I asked you that night, you didn't really answer me, but is it just for...
It sounds like it's for characters.
Or is it for toys?
It sounds like characters rather than toys.
Okay, cool. That's actually a good idea.
Myself, I know I've said that because Hasbro's doing a vote to let the fans pick the 5th one.
Mm-hmm.
Much as I'd love to see some Beast Wars get represented, I honestly think that the best choice for this would be Soundwave.
Right.
Simply because he's one of the most iconic characters of G1 and surprisingly he isn't one of the ones that they picked already.
Right. For me, as far as the Hall of Fame goes, from what I read and understand from the TFW story,
yeah,
because I read the press release that's after the jump there or whatever, after you hit the link on the thing or whatever.
Right.
This is the first year that they're doing a class.
Yes.
So it's not like they're hopefully it won't be they do this one year and then say fuck it the next year and not ever do it again. So I'm sure, regardless of who the 5th one is for this year, if they do it next year, we'll have 5 more, and on and on and on and on. So I'm sure you'll see some of your Beast Wars favorites in there at some point or another.
Right. And maybe we'll get Iron Fist even someday.
Mm. Yes. So what are you going to be talking about, sir?
I'm going to be talking about, I guess, some stuff that I've touched on in other ToyCasts that I got, but it wasn't really the focus of the conversation. I'm going to talk about, for instance, I'm going to be talking about the Transformers animated Arcee figure, which I touched on briefly in the episode I was on where I was talking about Ratchet.
Yeah, episode 52.
Right. But anyway, as I said in that episode, Arcee is a great figure that is completely worth the hype. Her vehicle mode, it's basically her G1 alt mode in terms of style. It's the first Arcee that's G1 style that's turned into a car. I can't say first Arcee that's turned into a car because they did that in Binaltech, and and first Arcee, obviously it's not the first one. The Energon Arcee figure, the movie one repainted that figure as Alita 1 is actually really close to her G1 appearance.
Right, but this is the one that is now the definitive one. If people really want to be as close to a G1 type of toy.
Yes, if you want an Arcee that's G1-esque, this is the one that you want to get. Mm-hmm. It looks a lot like her. I mean, robot mode is great. The biggest complaint about robot mode really is, and this is being touched on by other people, so I won't mention it very much, is the wings on her backpack, which are completely removable.
Exactly,
and that's kibble to it. They look really good in alt mode, but they don't look that great in robot mode. So
right. Well, like you said, it's more of a backpack, and I just want to point out, and I'm getting so sick of this, and I'm glad Vangelis pointed it out in his review of the toy. I don't know if TJ or anybody else did, but the wings are removable. The wings are just like Bumblebee's boosters. They're an accessory.
Yes, he pointed that out in both his review and on the podcast, so to his credit.
Exactly. But, the thing is, they're an accessory. Get over it, people. It's not like...
I don't think anyone's complaining about it.
Well, some people, I guess, were. That's the impression I got when he explained it. I may be misinterpreting, but, I don't know. Anyway.
Now, what I'll say that the best... Now, one of the neatest things, though, is that it does have an accessory even still. It's got swords that it comes with dual swords, which doesn't really have any significance in the context of the show.
Right.
But this is a clear homage to IDW's Spotlight Arcee, which has the psychotic Arcee, who, she uses a sword and she kills people and she's a psychopath. And it's completely different than any Arcee that we've gotten in terms of personality.
I wish she would have gone on... I wish she would have had a Lorena Bobbitt moment with Springer.
Hey, don't go cutting off Springer's propeller there.
Oh, damn. That's funny.
Yeah, anyway, she's got the dual swords. The biggest complaint about the swords is... and this is being brought up by others, is just that they tend to... The swords, you need to be careful when you put them in her hands, because there will be...
top load, not side load.
Yes, top load, but even then it's still going to wear away a bit. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a problem anytime in the near future. Yeah. But it's still something to keep in mind. But yeah, there's also... She's very accurate. There's a lot of stuff that you can potentially do to... if you don't like certain paint apps, that's really easy to touch up. In fact, as I speak here right now, I'm actually doing touch-ups on my Arcee. So, I'd already done touch-ups on her face. I painted in the lips, added some black detailing there, and on the neck. And now I'm doing a whole bunch of white detailing, and I'm doing like what Vangelis did, and I'm painting the rest of her collar, and I'm painting her hands. So, really, there's a lot you can do with this figure. She's a very good mold. She's also ridiculously posable, which is another thing that I really like about her. She's got a waist joint because of her transformation. She's got the only complaint about her transformation is that one of her knees, because of how she transforms, it doesn't lock into place as solidly as the other one. Mm-hmm. But by the same token, that's a problem, and also she can't bend her knees as far back as I'd like, but in the end, it's not that big a deal. She's still pretty sweet as a figure. So yeah, if you can get your hands on Arcee, I'd definitely recommend her. Yes. I'm also just going to quickly touch on another figure that I mentioned quickly some time ago, which was a Reveltech, in the Reveltech Fraulein series. It's the movie version of Yoko from Gurren Lagann. Anyway, it's the second release of the figure with some molding changes. I don't have the first version, but this one they made some molding changes, I guess, to representing stuff in the movie. For instance, like the original, her on this one, she's got more cleavage just from because they're homaging a bit near the end of the movie where her bra has gotten, her bra top has gotten cut, so she ends up tying it together. So it's pushing them more. It's this one, they're pushed closer together against each other, the breasts. So just as a result, there's more cleavage there. And also, this one has a swappable hairpiece, whereas the original, it just had the ponytail, but this one has a swappoed piece that you can have her hair down. Mm-hmm. And then it also comes with the hairpins as well as separate accessories, so that she can hold them in her hands.
Cool.
But yeah, it's a posable figure. It's got a good likeness, has good accessories. It has almost a dozen hands that come with it for different poses and stuff. And it's got an alternate face. And it comes with her rifle. It comes with a small pistol as well.
That rifle is awesome. I saw pictures of that you showed off. That rifle is cool as hell.
Oh, it is pretty cool. It's got a little stock. The stock doesn't actually fold, but it's got two pieces. But it's got two pieces for folded up and folded down, so that you can have it folded up. She's got slung around her back or something. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a pretty cool accessory. And really, the only thing that she doesn't, and the only thing that she doesn't have is, in terms of my detractions, I've only got a couple. The first one is she doesn't have the faces that have glasses that the original had, but that's not a big deal because she has a pair of goggles as well. There's also just a sec.
Yeah. So while he's away doing that, whatever he's doing there, I am actually not going to start my review yet, but I'm going through the thing that I will be reviewing, and there's stuff inside of it, and there was an old 1987 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Donatello. I love Donatello. He's so cool. Unfortunately, this one has no accessories, and he doesn't have his little strap-built thing there. So that's in there. And what else do I have in this little thing, a little building of mine? Oh yeah, another one, Leonardo. Wow, his paint is really fading on his chest. The yellow is really fading off here.
Yeah, sorry about that. I got interrupted for a sec.
That's all right.
I'll just quickly finish up so you can get on to your stuff, because
I
didn't have much left to say. Just the only thing really left is just that with Yoko, the only other complaint I have, and this is a quality control issue, one of her arms, the joint isn't very secure, so the arm doesn't stay on the body. It likes to fall off.
Oh.
And that's really the only complaint, in that if I fiddle around with it and pose it, it tends to fall off. I mean, that's one of the things with RevelTech joints. You can get some that are ridiculously tight, and you can get some cases like this where I think it's just because of the plastic in part.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, yeah, her stand is kind of weird how it displays with the ponytail, in that it's basically, you use a piece to hold her up by the joint that the ponytail is attached to. But it's really not all that bad. I mean, like, the joint's plenty secure. There's no question there, but it's just kind of weird. But overall, she's a neat figure for Gurren Lagann fans. I mean, she's a decent display piece. I only wish that we got a RevelTech Nia, or even like Simone or Kamina or something like that. So.
Yeah, as close as I get to RevelTech is the Transformers stuff, and I don't have anything wrong. I don't have anything against those figures. They're very cool, but I'm just not really into that. But I do admit that they are extremely cool.
Yeah, they are. I mean, like some of the Gurren Lagann ones, some of those go for a lot of money actually. Like, I mean, one that I got when it was at retail, like, that thing goes for like at least $60 on eBay now.
Wow.
So, and I paid like half that for it, so, because I got it when it was still out, just in terms of demand and stuff. And then I think there's a couple that go for like at least $100. So.
Oh, really?
Just because like one of them was hard to get, and one of them like wasn't all that easy to get, and there's lots of demand for it, but there's not that many, and the other one was an exclusive.
Ah.
But yeah, like, they're expensive figures now in the aftermarket, so. And there's some stuff that isn't that much. Like, if you want a Gurren Lagann, he's not that much, and the Enki, one of the other mechs, he used to be a lot of money on eBay, but a whole bunch of them turned up in the last couple months, so he's really gone down in price, and it's not much more than retail to get him, so. You're pretty much paying cost to get him, so he's pretty reasonably priced now.
Very, very cool.
And I guess that's about all I have to say about those things. So you were saying about your Ninja Turtles stuff?
Oh, no, I was just trying to fill the dead air since you went away. I'm like, okay, well, what the hell?
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I would have just cut out the dead air anyway, but I just felt like, no, I'm not really covering Ninja Turtles. I found them inside this thing that I have here, and I'm finding a whole bunch of other crap inside here, like Cybertron Mode Prime's head, or Cybertron Mode Prime. The rest of him went out with the trash a few months ago. His axe. Oh wow. I use this thing as a storage thing for whatever I don't feel like dealing with, and it's kind of sad, but I've had this thing for 20, I'm 30 now, so 83, 23, I'd say about 27 years or so, something like
That's
that.
not necessarily sad. That's more impressive than sad.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, wow, it is Masters of the Universe Castle Grayskull. And I don't even want to hear anything about fucking Green Skull from you, boy. Cause
what? It looks like it's...
No, I
green.
know. Alright, the toy is green, okay? Now, I don't know what they were doing when they designed the toy compared to the cartoon. I'm not really sure. But the name of the thing is Castle Grayskull. That's what it's always been. But anyway, it's basically a castle that has the face of a skull on it. The whole castle is kind of mimicked to make a skull, but in castle form. This is one of those Masters of the Universe playsets that came out back in the 80s when the toys were still popular, which they are still now, but for the most part. But oh wow, that did come off. I didn't think that thing was going to come off. It's been on there for 20 years. No, I had a sticker on there. No, but I love this thing. I loved my He-Man toys. I actually I'm going to start buying the He-Man Masters of the Universe Classics figures again, so I can have updated versions of all the He-Man toys.
Just make sure to get a subscription.
No. We're not going there. No. I'm buying what I can through BBTS. Fuck the subscription.
Right, because of Mattel, so...
Well,
you got a better chance of getting it through BBTS. I mean, it's not like, say, compare Mattel to just their production methods to, say, Figma, which is a Japanese company that does a lot of figurines and stuff. Like, there's a figure that they've got coming out with for Figma that they're making it based off of the pre-order demand. And right now, it's like it hasn't started production. It's out later this year. And right now, it's like the most pre-ordered figure that they've ever made.
Right.
And, like, they've got, like, I'm trying to remember, I think it's something like, there's, like, thousands and thousands of pre-orders on this thing. Like, it might be, like, 20,000, I think I said. I'll have to double check that number, but it's, like, got massive pre-orders on it, and, I mean, yeah, and they're going to make enough to fill those orders, so.
Right. Well,
I mean, like, a lot of online stores have taken a lot of those orders, too, I imagine, but the fact remains that they're going to be able to sell all of those, so.
Well, you know...
And then you look at Mattel where it's like, oh, sorry, we're locked in for these orders.
Yeah. Well, you know, the thing about the Masters of the Universe line when it was still back in the 80s, it was just so awesome. Unfortunately, my Castle Grayskull is not complete. I do not have the drawbridge or the throne or the pieces that fit into it, but the actual structure is still there, just the actual playset itself, but none of the accessories, which kind of sucks, but I mean... when I had left Massachusetts to come here to Kentucky when I was 13, I couldn't take it with me. It was the only thing out of my entire He-Man collection that my mom was able to save because my fucking dad sold all my He-Man toys when I was 6. He told me I was too old to be playing with toys. I could be yes, 6 years old. I could be a rich motherfucker right about now with all those classic He-Man figures. Because I had everything save Snake Mountain and the Palace of Eternia playsets. I had every single figure that ever came out for that original, which is now called the Vintage line. But yeah, no, I love this thing. My mom had pretty much lugged this thing everywhere she moved in the last 20 years until she finally gave it back to me. It is just so awesome. It's more of a display piece like, oh my god, you still have that type of deal? You know, I don't really play with it. Every now and then I will. I think when I first got my Universe Cyclonus, I think I took a picture of him standing on one of the turrets, which is kind of cool, I guess. But, you know, it's just one of those, it's a nostalgia thing, and if you're of the generation of the 90s, you're not really going to get it. Because you had to be a kid of the 80s growing up to understand the dedication to this toy line. So, yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. There really isn't that much else to say about it. You know, like I said, it does open up. Unfortunately, I don't open mine up that much because, like I said, I don't have all the other accessories that go with it, so. But yeah, it's very, very cool. Do we have anything else we want to bring up?
I don't think so. The only other thing maybe I can think about is, again, this is outdated news, that Cyber Missions episodes 5 and 6 are up apparently.
What the hell is Cyber Missions?
You haven't seen any of these?
No. I know where to get them. I've seen them on TFW, but I've never actually watched them.
Well, what they are basically is they're CGI shorts that Hasbro's doing to help cross-promote their toys.
What toys?
Like the Nest subline stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like they're like Autobot versus Decepticon. Like the first episode had Soundwave versus Bumblebee, as well as like Bludgeon versus Ironhide. Like they're using the toy rivalries in these things.
Okay.
And like the second episode was more Bludgeon Ironhide, and then you had like Lockdown Ratchet in the third one.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, and then the fourth and fifth, it looks like that. It looks like barricades in one of them, and Mind Wipes in another one. Mm-hmm. So I mean, they're ways to help give toys that didn't show up in anything media presence. It's a great idea, really. The writing on these things is pretty lackluster. The biggest complaint I have, the animation, like the CGI models are pretty decent, but the animation of said models is pretty pitiful. And my biggest complaint by far is the voice acting, because Bludgeon and Lockdown sound identical. They've got a lousy voice, and I've heard Mindwipe has the same voice actor too, so. I mean, really, they're kind of frustrating, just these figures, just in terms of the voice choices. I'm not all that satisfied with what they've done, so. Oh well, what you gonna do? I mean, I still have to watch the next two. And episode 4 hasn't gone up yet, but I imagine that's the conclusion of the Lockdown Ratchet one, because they actually worked that episode so that at the end, Lockdown steals Ratchet CMP, which the toy has. So, I mean, it's a clever little promotion thing, and really, they're doing the same thing for G.I. Joe, actually. They're doing a Pursuit of Cobra series as well in there. So, I mean, really, it's a great idea to try and cross-sell toys, although they're not really that well done professionally.
Yeah. Wait, episodes 5 and 6 have gone up, but episode 4 hasn't?
Yeah, that's right, because 5 and 6 just turned up on a Walmart website.
Oh. I hate when shit gets leaked like that.
Yeah, it's not really a leak. I think it's more that people found the page and Hasbro doesn't have 4 up yet. But they're going to be the odds are that they'll have 4 up within the next couple of weeks. So.
Uh-huh. Okay. What else do we want to talk about? Anything?
Nothing that I can think of now.
Alright, well, I guess we can close this one up. Thank you for joining us here on ToyCast. There are several ways to get in contact with us or leave feedback for the show. Visit the website, geekcastradio.com. You can comment on all the episode posts. Join the forums, PrediconEmpire.com/Nexus. Leave the show feedback in iTunes. Follow us on Twitter. The show name there is TF ToyCast. Mine is TFG1Mike. What is your Twitter?
GeneralTekno.
Become a fan on Facebook. Search Geekcast Radio Network. Call the voicemail line. Tell us the show you're leaving the message for and your name, 502-526-5821. We hope you enjoyed this episode of ToyCast and wish you'll join us next time. Be sure to visit www.bigbadtoystore.com for all your Transformers and other toy-related needs and more. For now, I am TFG1Mike with
GeneralTekno.
Thank you for listening. Until next time.
Hey, this is Sari, and you're listening to the Geekcast Radio Network of podcasts.
Podcast good.
Supernatural. From
Brave Star.
Maybe it was a Manglore.
It's Castle Grayskull.
He wanted to be